we're right into the game. No more delay this time, Atlas, as we're going to hop into Cyclone Mage versus Holy Wrath Paladin.
And equality held onto here by Sequinox, understanding that these pesky giants, when they do come down, are going to be pretty annoying. As we've got akumaker wasting absolutely no time, playing instantly. And it's just going to be Sorcerer's Apprentice straight off the top. This reminds me of Tempo Mage back in the day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Get it out there.
I mean, I think you just... Yeah. I guess you just pop it in the dome. Arcane Intellect, going to float a mana, but he wouldn't have been floating a mana if Sorcerer's Apprentice wasn't there. So theoretically, we can say this is efficiency.
Yeah.
And Coin Hammer or Wrath is going to deal with it.
And of course, this Holy Wrath Paladin just trying to draw through the deck as fast as possible. Draws two of those Novice Engineers with the Crystology.
akumaker, can you take some time to think about something?
No.
That's absolutely
He already has a loss. He's like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm just going.
My last game just took way too long, man.
He actually does not look happy.
He looks, yeah.
Or too awake. As a lot of people here not used to waking up this early for esports.
I feel like we've been broadcasting for like hours, but it's 10:30. Do you know when we'd go live for any other broadcast? About 7 hours from now. Well, thankfully, akumaker is continuing to play pretty quickly as another Mountain Giant is going to come out. As far as the draws off the top over the last couple of turns, akumaker's feeling real good about it. Sequinox now with a bit of thinking to do, but he's got a full hand and a lot of different options. We're one turn away from a quality Wild Pyro. Shrink Ray is still going to come out. And if there was a Conjurer's Calling, then that could have been a rougher situation, but thankfully one of the Novice Engineers did survive.
Yeah. And there's always a lot of thinking to do when you're playing this mage deck, but akumaker doesn't seem to want to do a lot of that. He's not giving us much time to think about the options. Just wants to plop down some giants and say, do you have stuff to deal with it? The answer is Sequinox does actually in spades.
Yeah,
and so he has to do a lot of extra thinking about how exactly he wants to deal with it.
Yeah. This is the fun part of this particular deck is you got a lot of removal tools, but you can use them all on the wrong targets. So it's about resource management more than anything else and trying to get to the bottom of your deck. Right now, I mean, that Wild Pyro quality is there if he wants to deal with it, but he's trying to work out whether there's a better way.
Options.
And it's exactly right. There are a bunch of different options.
Yeah. Soup Venter. He's venting that soup everywhere. No, he's vending it as...
And he's just looking for more cycle.
He just wants to draw as fast as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Conjurer's Calling is going to be drawn off the top, so that feels pretty good. Valdez?
Absolutely.
And he's waiting for this, though. You know that Sequinox knew that this was going to be a possibility. He's going to take 9 damage to face this turn, most likely. And then a Conjurer's Calling comes out and maybe plays something else. We'll see whether, like... I mean, Banana Buffoon? You could just play that as well. You could throw out some Ray of Frosts. I feel like you do have to Conjurers, though, and just hope that he... I mean, there's almost no way that Sequinox doesn't clear it.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see whether akumaker just does make the read that he's just been sitting on things, but no, I just don't think it's not worth it. You don't play both of them, though. I don't think you can play both of them.
Nah, I mean, it's too risky against all that removal, as you were mentioning, but let's see what he decides to do. Looks like he wants to try to kill this one off.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want all that extra healing to come in.
Denies that. Down to 21, as we expected. Another Conjurer is, of course, in hand due to that Twin Spell situation. So Sequinox still needs to play around some possible big options, but this is going to be all the Mountain Giants done. And we know that in the primary deck, there aren't as many of these big threats. There is if we go back and have a look At akumaker, there are a couple of Sea Giants. There are still a couple of Sea Giants, but he's going to be relying on Archmage Antonidas really getting some work done as... Oh, wow, he's just taking a timeout.
Yeah. He's got 2 of them in hand, too, so he's just saying, yeah, I can just sit back, wait. You know, I have that removal for, let's see if akumaker takes any steps forward. He's going to be forced to use it here eventually, though.
I really love this from Sequinox, though, just not playing... He was playing fast and loose at the beginning, but there weren't as many options. But now he's sitting here facing off this big board, and he could play another timeout here if he wants to, and then akumaker can't do anything, and then he still has that Pyro Equality just sitting in his hand while he continues to draw further and further through his deck. He's going to choose to burn it now, and he's going to put a dude out on the board.
Yeah, so going to clear a bunch. You can see akumaker's thinking a lot about exactly what is left, or perhaps how many spells he could draw with this Antonidas.
Well, I mean, you can do this, and you can throw down a whole bunch of stuff. And yes, I mean, there's no removal in the hand. I mean, Sequinox doesn't actually have ways of cleanly dealing with this.
Yeah, he's going to get like a whole hand of fireballs, basically. How does he hold this many?
I don't know. I don't know. But also, there's so many bananas. I actually really like the banana put on the mirror entity as well, because they're so hard to get rid of if they're not going to use AoE against you. So the ability for it to attack itself down if there's anything on the board on Sequinox's side is certainly good if some Conjurer's Calling plays are going to happen.
Ooh, it's not really what he was looking for. Of course, Sequinox could take another timeout.
Yeah.
He's going to have to here, but still drawing.
The problem is when you take a timeout, I mean, there's already five fireballs in the hand, and 5 times 6 is your entire health pool. And that just doesn't feel super good. Yes, you can't play them all in the same turn.
Yeah.
But right now, with the Sorcerer's Apprentice on board, you can play 3 of them, which is a hell of a lot of damage. Yeah. And on board, I mean, he's presenting lethal, so the timeout, I think, has to be played.
Yeah, that would be, if he cleared that, he'd be at 26 with 9 on board plus 18.
Yeah, it's 28 damage.
Yeah, 28 if the mirror image is left. Well, he's really thinking about this one, as he should know that I believe this should be enough. Because at 27, I mean, he's got 10 on board plus the 18.
Yeah, he's got 28
hand,
damage.
So there you go.
And also, like, Sequinox knew that, right?
He knew.
He could have
But
counted.
he's still, yeah, he could have timed out. But instead, he decided he'd rather die.
That was hand face up.
Well, I'm not sure about that one, as he had an answer, but he decided not to play it. So definitely a mistake from Sequinox.
That's really strange. And we've told you guys that we're not super great at the mathematics. You know, we're MOBA commentators primarily. So the math's not exactly something we're great at. We managed to do that one pretty easily.
Yeah. Well, that happens sometimes, guys. Let's jump into game number 2. And let's see how they changed it up for their specialist decks, as we already know that the tertiary deck is going to be the choice here for akumaker, as Magic Dart Frog will make it on.
Really? Why? What is the...
I don't know.
And he's keeping it. He just likes his little froggy boy, I guess.
Maybe he really wants to deal with the Crystal Smith. What else is there?
I mean, I guess you have... I don't know, dude. I actually just don't know.
That would be the only minion that you really want to get rid of, right?
I mean, there's no reason to want to fight for board against Sequinox. Like, Sequinox is going to concede board almost every single time, right? Mm-hmm. What Well, by concede board, I mean he's just going to try and control and not die. Like, having board is not the way Sequinox wins the game. And so akumaker playing with this card that's going to deal with tokens.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what he gave up for the Magic Dart Frog.
Time runs out on me.
So he just
not his Frostbolt, my friend. He kept his Frostbolt. But no, he doesn't have things like the Power of Creation.
The 2 Frost Novas.
Ah, it doesn't have Frost Novas.
I think that's the only change.
That is incredible.
From what I can see, so no 2 Frost Nova.
And Sequinox is confused too, right? Like, you see his little froggy boy and he's like, look at his face. He's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Oh, no Stargazer either.
Stargazer Luna
no,
is
no,
out.
no,
No, she's in.
No Sandbinder, that's what I meant to say.
Aha, okay. So you're not going to be able to draw your Mountain Giants for free. Or your, of course, Mana Cyclones. I actually find that does help with the consistency a lot.
So he has double Snap Freeze in this deck. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's not actually the Dart Frogs.
Nah, it's the Dart Frogs. It's all about the Dart Frogs.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see how it does pan out. Maybe he just wants more stuff on board early so he can put on pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. And it is still going to be killing the Novice Engineers and the Wild Pyromancers when they come down and things like that. It's a bit frustrating when your Prismatic Lens switches a 2 for another 2. That's okay. Luna off the top. Can keep cycling with a banana here.
Draw a card, continue to put on pressure. Puts it on the Luna as well.
Actually, I like that because unless you want to keep your Banana Buffoon out of Consecration range or something like that, you may as well just make Luna as sticky as possible.
That is true. Could die to, like, Pyro and Hammer of Wrath or something weird.
And keeps it out of True Silver Champion range.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that would be the biggest one.
Oh, and Elven Archer Hammer of Wrath range.
Ooh.
Which is what you were staring down, basically.
One shot.
But there we go. The froggy has been dealt with.
Little does he know there's a second froggy coming up soon.
I know, that's the thing. So dangerous. I think first we might throw Mountain Boy down. This will be straight into some pretty clear removal options. The Equality Wild Pyro still in hand, and we're heading into turn 6. It will be comfortably dealt with, but will the next one? And the one after that. Because remember, there are a couple of Sea Giants in this deck as well, and yes, 10 mana isn't quite as good as the guaranteed 8/8 or 7/8 taunt. It is still pretty strong, as we're going to freeze the Elven Archer and just go to face after that Mountain Giant comes in, and I think I've seen this one before. Brandon, it worked out pretty well for akumaker.
Yeah, that it did. I mean, this was your prediction coming into this, right? That the Mage would just be able to put on enough pressure and that the Paladin really wouldn't be able to sustain.
Well, I mean, it does depend, but yeah.
Just in general.
He just has there are a lot of threats that can come out of the Mage.
I think akumaker should be pretty happy with this position right now, but we'll see what Sequinox wants to do here. If it is just going to be more cycle, more healing, stuff like that, or does he want to go for a clear?
I mean, the clear is there, right? You can get rid of this one lone Mountain Giant, but he doesn't want to do it too early. And it is going to be Acolyte of Pain coming down. He's just happy to soak the damage. He's looking at 13, so he's, it's going to be okay. And with a lot of healing in this deck, I guess waiting a turn and allowing yourself to heal up with the option of potentially baiting a trade.
Well, he's got a lot of spells that cost nothing.
Yeah, he really wanted a Mana Cyclone to come out here.
Not going to catch it, though. He's going to be able to destroy this.
Yep, Snap Freeze means no value out of the Acolyte of Pain.
Behold The tools of creation.
All right, let's see what he picks up here.
Not a Mana Cyclone, which is just really sad, given the fact that he can play all of these spells for free.
Yeah, at least he does pick up that that Ray of Frost, so he is able to destroy this as well.
Yeah. Elemental Evocation. Is it going to be Mana Cyclone off the top?
Oh,
I mean, he doesn't have enough room in his hand for anything anyway, so I don't think he can actually play the Mana Cyclone and get too much out of it. Banana Buffoon thinking about trading. Don't know why you would.
I kind of, yeah, I think you just go face.
Run it into the dome, dude.
No?
Oh, no, he's not. Okay. Scared of, I guess, Wild Pyro? But Hammer of Wrath is going to come down and deal with the little girl. Sorcerer's Apprentice is going to go back to the shop.
Ooh, okay. Picks up Shrink Ray now, so now he's got 2 options.
Yeah, with 2 Pyros also in the hand, certainly feels good.
Yeah. Antonitis, though, off the top, could get a couple of the fireballs already if he wants to try to do what he did in game 1 and have that option.
I feel like you need to spread your threats out, though, right? Like, akumaker is at a position where his opponent's at 16 health. He's not exactly presenting lethal this turn. He could if he plays 1 Conjurer's Calling.
Yeah.
And then force the removal. Or not. I mean, Sequinox, we've seen him stare down lethal and just say, bring it on.
Yeah.
Know? He's like one of those, like sometimes you're at a surf beach. I don't know whether you've done this very often. You go to a surf beach and the waves are really, really big.
Uh-huh.
And you're just standing there and you see this huge wave coming towards you and you're like, I can do it. And then it dunks you.
Look at that draw right off the top. Not to cut you off, but that's going to be another fireball.
Yeah, Evocation coming in, and another Mountain Giant could actually come down if he wants to. No, decides that that's not what he wants to play.
That means he gets a 3rd fireball, absolutely, which once he hits 9 mana, if he has another Sorcerer's Apprentice, he could do it in 1 turn.
Yeah.
But he needs to have it on board. But still some healing going to come out here.
Well, Khadgar, that's a little bit sad, especially considering the fact that that's going to be 2 mana floated. Hero Power is going to be able to deal with the Wild Pyromancer, so another one is going to have to be invested here for this play. Still representing a lot of pressure, and Sequinox is not going to forget this time that there are fireballs in hand.
Yeah, after that happens in game 1, I don't think he'll ever forget that for a long time.
But this is what I was talking about, right? With the fact that there is just so much pressure that you can put down. And oftentimes when we saw handlocks, things like that, like once you dealt with the Mountain Giants, you felt a lot more comfortable moving into the later stages of the game. It's not the case with this, right? You've still got Mana Cyclone that you have to worry about. Like, we've seen these Mana Cyclone mages end the game with, like, Frostbolt, triple Fireball and Pyroblast in their hand. Like, there is still a lot of burn available. Sequinox is going to take some time here.
How do you like that turn? Wait until almost the rope and then just take a timeout.
Yeah.
He needed more time to think.
Well, I don't begrudge him that, because he certainly needed a little bit more time to think in the last game. Conjurer's Calling. That's a big pickup.
How about the counterspell?
Counterspell feels so even better.
Oh, man.
Especially with how expensive the spells are, and he knows that there aren't a lot of flash heals still available.
Yeah, I mean, he already saw 1, I think.
Yeah?
I don't think he played 2, although maybe he did.
I think he might have played 2.
And so that's just so annoying. You would have to Consecration first and then Shrink Ray, but you can't do that with the Pyromancer in 1 turn.
Yeah, you can't clear. With Counterspell here.
I think he's just screwed.
Yep. And he can't even YOLO Holy Wrath because Counterspell
Here we go.
ruins that one
there
as well.
It is, countered, and see you later as a cheeky grin on Sequinox's face, as I think he knows what we already knew, that he is kind of boned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to do the math this time.
You think so?
I think so. Because when all of these minions go into your face and you only have a few health remaining, that's going to be it.
Well fought.
I concede.
I concede.
Oh, I got the voice line wrong.
Yeah,
I didn't think that she was gonna say that, but
You got the voice.
that's my favorite one anyway.
You got the voice line right. It was just the wrong one. But akumaker is going to be able to get his first win here.
Yeah.
Of APAC, and is going to tie things up with Sequinox, who's going to go down to 1-1. He had a win streak of 1 victory.